Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another offseason rebuild, and today we have the Atlanta Hawks. Last season, the Hawks went 41-41, so exactly 500. They ended up as the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. They lost to the Celtics in round 1 in 6 games, and this team's honestly had a pretty interesting offseason. They moved on from John Collins after what feels like a very long time that his name has been in trade rumors. They gave DeJounte Murray a pretty big extension, which I thought was a smart idea. I think him and Trey work better than a lot of people really think they do. Along with that, they had some decent draft picks. And honestly, I think this team, I don't want to say is 100% going to be better, but I would definitely be surprised if they were worse than they were last year. So I like the direction that Atlanta is taking. Obviously, 2K is a huge fan of the Atlanta Hawks. Our goal today is to obviously bring them a championship. And as we approach the dog days of August, where there is absolutely nothing going on in the NBA world, we are obviously looking for video ideas. So whatever you guys have, let me know down below in the comment section. We are going into about a month and a half stretch coming up where it's just tough. You're basically just milking out the final little drops that you have in 2K23 before you do get to 2K24. So obviously very much looking forward to that, but at this point in time, I'm not sick of 2K. We just got to find something to kind of kill time with, if you will. So yeah, man, this is going to be Atlanta Hawks. I think, again, it shouldn't be too challenging to win with this team. 2K is a pretty big fan of them, so let's get into this one. So as you can see, we're pretty far into free agency. This offseason is basically done, and I don't really foresee any major moves. So what we'll do is we'll just go over this team real quick, and we'll see what we have. And yeah, it's pretty good because 2K is a pretty big fan of it. So Trae Young, best player on this team, obviously only 24 years old. He develops super well. There's basically a 0% chance that he's going anywhere. Kobe Buffkin, I believe, was the 15th overall selection. In all likelihood, will be my backup point guard. As you can see here, they also traded for Patty Mills for a good depth piece, good veteran guard. Definitely seen a thing or two. And yeah, I mean, here in 2K specifically, I think it makes more sense for me to play Buffkin. Patty Mills is obviously not a long-term answer, even in a 3-year rebuild. So Buffkin will probably be my backup point guard. Backing up Ice Trae. Shooting guard spot, DeJounte Murray, that extension's not kicked in yet. He actually will be on this contract, or this amount of dollars, if you will, for this upcoming season. I will edit it and give him his extension. You can't edit contracts in the offseason in 2K. Bogdanovic is here. It's going to be interesting. He somewhat regresses occasionally, but I still think he's pretty good. So we're going to go and kind of play it by ear with him, if you will. Garrison Matthews, Wesley Matthews, Seth Lundberg. We'll see. I mean, Wesley Matthews, I'm assuming they signed kind of just as a depth piece. I don't really plan on using him too much. We'll see. DeAndre Hunter, 4-year, $90 million contract. We're definitely going to need him to play up to that kind of money and that kind of potential. We'll see. He's only 25 years old. Hopefully he can play well. AJ Griffin, only 19 years old. All likelihood will be my backup. Probably a pretty key bench piece throughout the entirety of this rebuild. Tyrese Martin, probably not going to get too much playing time. Obviously, the power forward kind of logjam that they had has cleared up a little bit now that John Collins is a member of the Utah Jazz. Sadiq Bey, in all likelihood, will take over as the starting 4 for me. Jalen Johnson here as well, only 21 years old. Again, I think this team has a lot of young talent with a lot of potential, so I want to maximize on that potential, even though it is only a 3-year rebuild. And then the center spot's interesting because Clint Capella is a solid center option. He's 29 years old on a 2-year, $42, almost $43 million deal. Onyeka Okongwu develops really well, though. So there might have to be a pretty tough decision made at some point in time, but they're 2 overalls off from each other, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Okongwu was a higher overall by the start of next year. So we'll see. Bruno Fernando, Celtics legend, then Mohamed Gay here as well. And yeah, I don't really see any major trades. I'm going to have a couple small ones, but I don't know. I'll see you guys if I have anything big. The Sacramento Kings want to give me a future first and a future second for Bruno Fernando. In all likelihood, he was never going to get minutes anyways. He's a good depth piece to have in real life, but here in 2K with no injuries and obviously 2 centers that are fully capable of playing, we don't really need him. So welcome to Sacramento, Bruno, and thank you for the draft picks. Other than that, I don't see anything major. I mean, maybe Garrison Matthews. I don't know. Is he actually even on this team still? I don't really know. I mean, even if there's like a second, well, I can get a first. It feels a little cheesy. I'm not going to lie. I'll do this swap for some seconds. A first, I mean, I could, but it just feels a little too cheesy. And honestly, I don't even know for 100% certainty if he's on this team. So I don't want to take too much advantage. But other than that, we're going to leave it the way it is. I'll see you guys at the rotation at the start of year 1. It is officially year one for us here in Atlanta. We went ahead, I updated DeJounte Murray's extension, so he's here, he's locked up. It's exactly what we were hoping for. Here's how the rotation is going to look. Obviously, Trae Young playing next to DeJounte Murray in this backcourt. It's a very good backcourt. It's probably one of the better backcourts in the Eastern Conference. I'll stand by that statement. They play well together, in my opinion. DeAndre Hunter is here at the 3, Saddiq Bey at the 4, Clint Capella. I'm still going to start him. It's going to be an interesting decision come next offseason, though, so we will see. Bogdanovic going to be my 6th man here. I don't love having like centers as 6th man. That's the only reason why Okongwu here will not be the 6th man, but he's still playing 19 minutes a night. He's getting playing time. Followed by AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, and then Kobe Buffkin here as well. So pretty decent bench. A lot of potential, a lot of promise on this bench with a pretty solidified and already really good starting 5. So I think we're definitely going to be much better than 41 and 41, especially with how much 2K loves this team. And I consider us contenders. We'll see you guys at the end of year one. If you need any more evidence of how big of a fan 2K is of the Atlanta Hawks, look no further. Trae Young winning MVP, not necessarily what I'm talking about, but when you tie that in with us going 64 and 18, I think that really kind of proves the point. So Trae Young wins MVP for us. That's obviously great. Hopefully that can carry over to some really solid postseason play. Victor Wembanyama is your Rookie of the Year. Chris Paul, 6th man. Giannis wins Depoy. Jonathan Kuminga most improved. Maybe getting a little bit of a bigger role now that he's developed a little bit more. Good for him. Quinn Snyder wins Coach of the Year for us. As I mentioned, 64 and 18. It's a solid first season, but again, none of it means anything if we don't do well in the playoffs. So we do take the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. We have the best record in all of basketball. That's obviously great, but I've had a lot of best records and a lot of really good seasons with a lot of good teams, and it hasn't always translated to wins in the playoffs. So here's a look at the numbers. Feel free to pause if you wish. Yeah, I mean, I think there's an argument to keep Clint Capella. I don't know. We're going to see come off-season time. We have a playoff run coming up, though. Clint did lead us in rebounds and assists with Trae Young. So, first round, it's going to be the 8th-seeded Milwaukee Bucks, a rematch of the 2021 Eastern Conference Finals, and this makes me want to throw up seeing Derek White in a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. Huge Celtics fan, if you guys didn't know. I'm not sure how they swung that one, but honestly, it's a hell of a deal. I think he'd actually fit really well there with them. We're up 3-1, though, and we do end up winning in 5. We have the Philadelphia 76ers here in round 2. Harden, Maxey, Harris, Tucker, Embiid. Really no changes in that starting 5. Hopefully nothing changes in terms of them getting out of the second round. It has never happened. I'm just kidding. We're 2-2 with them right now. We go actually down 3-2. Wow. We actually lose. You know what? I'm happy for the 76ers. I'm happy for Sixers fans getting out of the second round. LeBron's facing his old team in the Cavs here in the finals, and the Cavs actually beat him. And maybe the only guy that 2K likes more than Trae Young is Darius Garland, as you can see, winning a finals MVP. I mean, it all fits. It really does. All right, now we have full control of our offseason. We're obviously a little bit down the line, but I mean, we have to go ahead and we have to make changes and make decisions that are going to benefit this team in the long run. I do not know if we're actually going to have access to that Sacramento pick, but if we do, that's sick. I don't know if we do, though. It's probably some sort of protections on it, if I had to guess. Yeah, you can see they ended up with number 4, which means we will have an unprotected Sacramento Kings pick next year, which could be valuable, potentially, especially if they're playing that bad. Quinn Snyder just won a Coach of the Year, and he has good ratings. I'm going to keep him. Tends to win Coach of the Year, actually, quite a bit here in these simulations. So, up to the draft. Do we have any other picks? We do have our own first. We also have 10 and 21 in round 2. Oh, I don't know. Is it time to make a trade and maybe make an upgrade somewhere? I'm not 100% certain yet, but it could be. Well, hang with me. So I didn't find that major trade. I actually went ahead and traded away all of our picks that we had this year. If you want to look at the trades, they are right here. I didn't really think anybody we were going to draft there was going to benefit us too much. And honestly, the team does have some pretty good depth. So no major trade yet. Team player options, we're going to definitely bring back. Yeah, I mean, they could be in trades. Why not? But AJ Griffin and Jalen Johnson, definitely, yes, they're important pieces of this team. Qualifying offer, Saddiq Bey and Onyeka Okongwu. So I'm obviously going to pay both of them. And I think there's a strong argument to maybe keeping them both for the long term. Saddiq Bey obviously started for us last year. Okongwu came off the bench. I kind of want to start him. I think he'll be around an 84 overall next year, which will be higher than Capella. And I think there's a lot of potential that we're maybe not tapping into because he's maybe not available to get those minutes. So we'll see. Obviously, depending how much he asks for as well. I'm sure it's going to be a lot because he typically does. Yeah, about $18 million. So I expected that. I do want to bring back Bogey as well. Actually doesn't want that much money, which is kind of clutch. And then Saddiq Bey, how much are you asking for? He wants about $16 million. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to pay them both. I don't think it's smart to let either of them go. Everybody else is free to leave. But Okongwu and Saddiq Bey are definitely going to be making decent money next year. So I definitely want them to either we get full-time minutes for a Kongu, or start playing maybe a little better for Sadiq Bey. So Bogey's back as well, and then here in free agency, we're going to pay a Kongu, and we are going to pay Bey. And yeah, I mean, there are deals that we kind of had to give out, and it could be time for potentially a big trade right now at this point in time. We're going to try to work a trade here with the Celtics and pick up a really good player in Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously, he'd be an upgrade at our starting power forward spot. Jalen Johnson would be in this trade because obviously Sadiq Bey would be coming off the bench now, and we don't really need 3 power forwards. But I'd love to add Tingus Pingus to this team. Clint Capella probably has run his course here for us. I think Okongwu is ready to take over. We definitely paid him starting center money, so, well, maybe not 100%. You know what I'm saying. We paid him a lot of money, so I want him to start. But Porzingis would definitely be an upgrade. In terms of what else we could give up, this Kings pick is obviously valuable. I don't really know why they suck too much, just kind of like looking at their roster. I mean, I don't know. It looks like they actually lost Sabonis, so that might have something to do with it. Maybe I don't want to give up this pick. I'm going to try to actually hang on to this, so I'll give you this Spurs swap right here. Obviously, those kind of tail back to the DeJounte Murray trade. And then we have this Kings pick in 2027. And then I'd probably do one more first that I have, and then maybe a second. Is that possible? Because I'd rather not... shit. Here's my thing. I'd rather not have to... Ooh, maybe I'd give up Bogey. I probably would give up Bogey just because I think he's going to regress. I know I just re-signed him. It's a little cheesy, but for Kristaps Porzingis, I'd probably do it. All right, so we get our upgrade here at our starting power forward spot with Tingus Pingus. He will now take over at the 4. Bey will now come off the bench. Okongwu is now officially going to be our starting center, and now we need to figure out a backup center. Mohamed Guy is probably not going to cut it for that. Anyway, I can trade him and maybe kind of get a first... Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Milwaukee. I mean, that's great. We also get a trade exception there as well. So, shooting guard spot. D'Anthony Melton's great. He's going to be the new backup shooting guard who's replacing Bogey. He's going to come off the bench now for us, hopefully, if he signs with us. He does. And then in terms of the center spot, oh boy, this is kind of what I was worried about in terms of going ahead and trading away our center depth. Oh, man. Yeah, nothing too great. I'm actually going to get a little cheesy. We're going to sign Caruso, and then we're going to throw Caruso in a trade with a couple seconds, and just any center who's available, we're going to take him. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think we had great center depth at one point in time, and now we kind of just don't have anything, but it's fine. Let's look at some options here. Got to be somebody here that's a center. Duron Sharp, absolutely perfect. Welcome to the team. All right, I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. So after winning 64 games last year and having the best record in the NBA, we came up short. We lost in the second round of the Philadelphia 76ers. We went ahead and we made a major move, adding a guy in Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously can be a reliable second, third option, whatever you really want to call him. Very versatile big man. So excited to have him here. We've reshaped this team a little bit. Nothing too major. It's Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter still at the 3. I don't want to say the weakest link in the starting lineup, but in terms of overall, I guess he is. But I have high hopes for him. We'll see. Tingus Pingus now in here as our starting 4, and then Onyeka Okongwu, our new starting center. We're excited to give him the keys to the kingdom in terms of taking over at the 5. Sadiq Bey will now move to the 6-man role off the bench, followed by A.J. Griffin, D'Anthony Melton, new addition here as well, Kobe Buffkin, and then Duron Sharp. So excited. I like the depth. I like the starting 5. I think everything's coming together, and as much as 2K does love this team, we definitely need to get a little bit lucky. So, see you guys at the end of year 2. It is now back-to-back MVPs for Trae Young. Same thing as last year. I'm assuming we're the 1 seed. We went 71-11, so everything's great and mighty until the playoffs, I guess. But yeah, Trae, second straight MVP. You love to see it. Bronny James, your rookie of the year, ends up in DC, and he goes 18th overall. Wow. Dame, 6th man of the year, still not running from the grind. AD's your depoy. Azar Thompson, most improved. Quinn Snyder, second straight coach of the year. So, I mean, everything feels good. Everything looks good. We just got to go out and perform. Wow, not a single 50-win team in the Western Conference. I doubt that's ever happened before, unless it's like a lockout season or a COVID-shortened season. Actually, I don't know. Here's a look at the numbers on the year. Feel free to pause. As I mentioned, Porzingis kind of came in, was that kind of second, third borderline option. Whatever you want to call him, but it is good to see. Rebounds was Okongwu. He kind of played similar to kind of on par how I expected Clint Capella to play. I have no problem with the move. And then assist was Trae Young. So who we got? Who's going to be round 1 for us? It's going to be the 8th-seeded Indiana Pacers, who have added Tobias Harris. Other than that, no real major changes, but I think we're better, and I really stand by that, and we do end up sweeping. We're moving on to the Toronto Raptors. Io starting. Jaylen Brown, for some reason, always signs with the Raptors here. Hurts my heart. It really does. Scotty Barnes, Siakam, Wiseman's their new starting center. You got OG coming off the bench. Jakob Poeltl's still there. All right, good depth. Looks like solid team, and hopefully we do not... Oh, my God. Are we going to do this again? No. Wow. I did not expect this to go this way today. I thought we'd have at least one championship by now, but I guess kind of I don't even want to say laid back, kind of just relaxed approach has kind of worked, but I guess it's time to get even more aggressive, turn up another notch come off-season time. But yeah, that was a little shocking. We actually kept that Kings pick, and a good thing we did. It's projected to go top 5. It's unprotected, so wherever it lands, it is our pick. And it actually lands at number 1. That's huge. It's kind of exactly what we needed right now, because there's obviously a potential major move on the horizon. I don't want to fire Quinn Snyder, but I feel like we have come up pretty short. Just in terms of candidates here, like Doc Rivers, probably not. Yeah, I mean, Ty Lue is here, obviously an experience. Oh, Mike Malone is here. Mike Malone. I like Mike Malone. I don't know if Chauncey Billups is here, Tibbs. Yeah, I don't know. Like, in ratings-wise, they're not better than what we have. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just not. I mean, I don't think the ratings are going to get better than that. So I'm gonna stick with them. In real life, I'd probably fire him by this point. But ratings-wise, we're not getting better, and it's not just some magical thing like you can't measure here in 2K that is automatically going to make this team get better. It just doesn't exist. But first overall pick with a potential move on the horizon. Let's see what we can come up with. We're going to make this blockbuster deal here with the Indiana Pacers, sending them the first overall selection, DeAndre Hunter and DeAnthony Melton for Tyrese Halliburton and Jacoby Walter. So Walter could be my new backup shooting guard, replacing what Melton was for us. And then Tyrese Halliburton coming in. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, why are you trading for a point guard? And it's honestly, DeJounte Murray goes up when you move him to small forward. I know he's not even remotely close to a small forward, but you can see his overall actually bumps up a little bit. But yeah, we're going to do that. And then, I mean, in all likelihood, size-wise, it makes more sense to play Halliburton at the 2. But oh, wow. It's a couple hits in the overall. I'll just play Halliburton at the 2. I don't think it's going to matter too much. But yeah, obviously, they're both more of point guards. But here in 2K, I don't think it's going to work. And obviously, that's a huge upgrade, adding Tyrese Halliburton. So I'm excited to see kind of how that plays out. Obviously, there's a couple ball facilitators on this team now. DeJounte Murray is really a point guard, so I do not know how this is going to work, but I have gotten a lot of suggestions in the past. It's like, play DeJounte at the 3, see how it works. So we will see, I guess. Do we have any other draft picks? We do not, so we're not going to be drafting anybody. In terms of team player options, Griffin and Bufkin are both coming back. Qualifying Deron Sharp, I'd like to bring back. Maybe there's an upgrade somewhere, but I don't know if I'm going to see it. But Sharp is probably coming back unless there's anybody crazy. Yeah, no. Deron Sharp coming back for his final season. So, yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, maybe there's a couple other trades I could make to upgrade the bench, but unless it's anything major, I probably won't do it. I mean, maybe the new backup shooting guard spot could be something we explore, because I'm fine with Bufkin. He'll probably be around an 80 overall. Jacoby Walter is definitely an upgradable position, I would assume. I'm good with Griffin, I'm good with Bay, and I'm good with Sharp. So Jacoby Walter, and we do have a couple first-round picks left, so let's just look at some options in terms of shooting guards. I'm looking for somebody who's probably not going to regress. A.J. Johnson. Yeah, no numbers yet. Derek Whitehead's here. Yeah, he actually played well for us. So, you know what, let's bring him in. Welcome to the team, and I'll see you guys at the start of the third and final year. So I know I just did this a few videos ago, and I do not know why I'm getting offered it again, but I'm going to do it. And I guess I'll take a break from getting Anthony Edwards for a while after this, as weird as it sounds. Ant, I feel like, can play the 3 a little bit better than Murray can, and honestly, he's been playing out of his goddamn mind. So, yeah, I have no idea why it's this easy to trade for Anthony Edwards, but he's going to be my new starting 3. I was just curious kind of what I could get for DeJounte Murray, and this trade came along, so yeah, feels like a home run. See you guys with the rotation. After a 64 and a 71 win season, we have come up with absolutely nothing. We haven't even made an Eastern Conference final yet, and we're here in the final season with championship hopes. I mean, obviously, we made some pretty big changes to this team. We welcome in Tyrese Halliburton, we welcome in Anthony Edwards, and I think they're going to fit this team quite nicely. So here's how it's going to be. The final year, Tyrese Halliburton and Trae Young are going to be playing together. I went wrong name, wrong order, but yeah, they're our backcourt. Ant here starting at the 3, Porzingis at the 4, and Okongwu here at the 5. Bench unit, Sadiq Bey, Derek Whitehead, AJ Griffin, Kobe Bufkin, Deron Sharp. See you guys at the end of the third and final year. I think we have a new record for me personally. I think we just broke my single season win record. We went 80-2. Yep, 80-2. You're not mishearing me. We won 80 out of 82 games. Trae Young, 3rd straight MVP. Cooper Flaggs, Rookie of the Year in Indiana. Fultz, 6th man. Anthony Davis is your depoy. Anthony Black, most improved. And yeah, 80-2. Insanity. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. But I mean, I want to be excited and I want to be happy. But at this point in time, I mean, we won 71 games last year. We won 64 the year before. And we haven't even made an East Final. So honestly, I know we've changed a bunch of things, but we don't win it all, I genuinely, I do not care. So here's a look at the rebounds on the year as a Kongu and assists. We had 2 guys double-digit assists with Halliburton and Trae Young. Hell of a backcourt. So who's it going to be round 1 for? It's going to be the 8-seeded Boston Celtics, Brogdon, Kyle. What is happening today? I mean, not only does Kyrie return to Boston, which I'm pretty sure he'd rather retire than do, LeBron also goes to Boston, which again, I'm pretty sure he'd rather retire than do. That's pretty crazy to me. I guess Jason Tatum took his talents elsewhere, and yeah, LeBron and Kyrie paired back up. I mean, we sweep them, but that's just insanity. That might be one of the crazier things I've seen in 2K. Speaking of my man, my glorious king, Jason Tatum, he is in Chicago. He's paired up with Lonzo Ball, Manu quickly. Vucevic is there as well. I mean, okay, let's just see what happens. We end up sweeping. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. We finally make an Eastern Conference Finals. Anthony Blacks, this is Jet Howard, not Jeff Howard. This game needs to fucking fix their rookie names. Insanity. All right, we're up 1-0. We are up 2-0. Okay, thank God. So we're now, okay, now we lose a game. I was literally, the words were on the tip of my tongue. I was about to say, are we not going to lose a playoff game? Then we lose a playoff game. All right, we're in the NBA Finals here. We're taking on Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. We lose game 1. I didn't even actually look at their team. Who else is here? Donovan Mitchell, Chris Middleton. Okay, holy shit. Luka got some help. I mean, he has Kyrie in real life, but you know what I'm saying. And yeah, we end up winning in 5, and Tyrese Halliburton's our Finals MVP. So 80-2 in our final season with a championship. I'm pretty sure we only lost 2 games in the playoffs as well. So yeah, I mean, that's insane. I mean, we built a hell of a team. I was honestly surprised we only won 1 today. But, yeah, I guess maybe had to trade DeJounte Murray a little earlier. But I like DeJounte Murray. I wanted to win with him. But, yeah, I'm not even getting into a conversation about it with I prefer Anthony Edwards or DeJounte Murray. I mean, that's just not even a remotely close conversation. It's Anthony Edwards every single day of the week. But I do like DeJounte. Yeah, I guess other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I mean, crazy season that kind of felt a little bit underplayed almost because we hadn't won anything yet, but yeah, it's a good way to end the video, and I did have fun with this rebuild. Obviously, 2K loves the Atlanta Hawks, and that probably helped a little bit. I just hit my desk. I'm sorry. But, yeah, other than that, I guess let me know any other video ideas. We are in the dog days, as I mentioned pretty much earlier in this video. But, yeah, content is slow. Things are slow moving, and I'm excited to see what ends up happening with James Harden and Damian Lillard. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But other than that, as always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. Catch you guys all in the next one.